All right, everybody, bringing the chaos to the streets.
That's
Welcome
right.
to
Let's
the
fucking go, folks. Sorry
phone
about
booth
that.
live stream. It's been a fucking nightmare lately. I don't know what's going on with our live streaming. Things are fucked up.
So
Um,
on the thing on the live stream, you're not coming through. It's still playing the
it should be tight now. It should be tight now.
it's
Um,
4 minutes and 5 seconds
yeah.
left.
Uh, we should be good to go
Or hold
now.
on, maybe I'm looking at the fucking replay.
Yeah, no, you're looking at the replay. We're definitely back on and live now.
All
Um,
right.
I apologize, folks. There's been some problems with the streaming software that we use. It's been a real pain in the fucking dick, if I'm being honest, and that'll probably get us flagged already. Um, so, welcome to the stream, everybody.
Yeah, we're
Here,
back. We're live again. And you
here
know
we
what,
are.
guys?
Here we are.
If the stream breaks down, folks, just bear with us, man. It might be glitched out, but we're not going anywhere. You know, we're giving you your 2 hours of mainstream Monday. We're ready.
That's
And
right.
while we're at it, I guess we could just start off with Kemen Buryan and Humble
Let's
Scott,
let's
Substack,
yeah. Let me get to it, man. I got it
yeah,
queued
yeah,
up.
yeah, no problem, dude.
Everything. Go check out phoneboothsubstack.com. Tons of great content out there. Dude, you got the pick is in. What a great episode we had last week with Espo.
Yeah.
The phone booth put out a banger too. Weather modification in Area 51. Um, what another banger episode.
Yep.
The Nephilim Death Squad episodes are banger. Go check them out. Check out the Philosopher King. We got the Here's the
Yeah,
Thing
that's my boy
podcast.
Jonah.
And then go check out the Mind of Madness. I know he doesn't post very often, but when he does, it's very meaningful. So
Yeah.
definitely,
Oh, don't worry. We will, because I'm probably just gonna let my fucking account get torched and go down in fire. You know what I mean?
wow,
I think I'm just gonna have a fucking glorious, just like burnout. Like
yeah,
where you just push back on all the extreme nonsense. But I'll wait on that. Let's yeah, the
dude. Also,
merch store,
check out
baby.
check
Good
out the
shirt.
merch store. Get all kinds of sick threads.
Hell
Dude, got the
yes.
grow or die, which is our motto around here at the phone booth. Dude, this one is one of my favorites. The coffee mug. Coffee always lays flat, just like water. We got the
Yeah.
Bigfoot. You know what they say about Bigfoots?
What's
That's one
that?
of my favorites. They wear big socks, Templar. But there's all kinds of new threads, and you know what? There's a new one to join the mix here, and it is right here. The pick is in, bada bing, right there. Go get your
You
pick
love
is in.
that shit, but that's because I'm a or not a Star Trek, a Back to the Future geek. So just
Oh,
like the color and the layout is like maybe I think that's why I watch your show. I don't even like fucking sports when I watch your show. It's probably because of the Back to the Future font, bro.
is that what it is? Is that what
It's
it is?
gotta be. It could be because it's really entertaining too. That's the other
It
thing.
could be. It could be. It could be. But also, let's pay some bills and say what's up to Can Am Bullion. Uh, Dude,
Hey,
go to
where we
Can Am.
are, where's the price of gold right now?
Actually, later, let's give it a refresh. It's down quite a bit lately. $4,328, which man,
Yeah,
it's in
that's
a
not
dip.
bad though.
It's in a dip right now. It was a little higher, so is silver in a bit of a dip. But that just makes it a great time to buy when it's in the dip. Which might be the name of my new podcast, In the Dip.
Well,
But
the other benefit of that is, right? Because like it's been hovering around $45 an ounce on gold. Because I've been watching it like for since we've been with this company. Like I fucking hawk it just to like watch the gold. I don't own any gold, but I use this to like keep an eye on the market. But it's been staying at about 4,500 on the gold, right? Which I think at the 4,300 it currently is for an ounce of gold is pretty good. I mean, seeing how again, I talk about it every week. Fucking inflation. I can buy less and less. Like if if in a month, I guarantee you, my buying power will be down a little bit more, but I bet you the gold will still be up significantly. Like just I don't know. If I had the money, I would, dude. I would invest in that shit, and I would fucking have it like in an offshore. I'd pay taxes on it, but fuck, dude,
Well,
like money
it's
scares the shit out of me.
it's definitely a lot safer, than crypto right now. Crypto is really taking a hit.
Dude.
You know,
Yeah, dude. It's been like days of a drop, right?
it's more than days. Shit, I think it's been at least a week. Maybe it's hitting 2 weeks now. Maybe. And I'm happy to say that my 3 cents that I have in SafeMoon is still at 3 cents. So I'm surviving this this crypto down right now. So I'm doing all right. I still got 3 cents.
You
Oh
know,
man.
I tried to buy like fucking Dogecoin one time, right? But since I guess it's on like a special fucking marketplace or whatever, so I couldn't get it on the Nasdaq. So then I'm like, nah. What's up, Ted? Cram? $5, everybody. What's up? What's up?
Everybody, I apologize for the stream crashing. This is what happens when you go live. You just
Right.
have to power through this shit. So we will survive. What up for Ray? Thank you, Templar, for the repost. That's very sweet of you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and if any of you guys out there could do a repost for us, it's free, but most importantly, it helps get the show out there. It gets eyes on us. It helps us grow. So like when you guys share it, it does a lot for like being something that doesn't cost anything.
right. Foray, we should be back up on YouTube. We had a little technical difficulty and
Yeah,
we lost every connection, but we should be back up on YouTube. Foray, thank you for the repost.
yeah, appreciate you.
Teresa, what's up? Buy the dips.
And then
In
don't forget at the end of the show, we got the X Town Hall. So we'll put the link in the comments. So if you guys have something you want to share, you want to talk about, something you want to vent, bring attention to, it's there. It's available for you every week on Mainstream Mondays. The last half hour of the show, unless we got a bunch of people, then obviously we would you know uh, give you guys more time. So
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna post the link in there now, so you guys have no
yeah, yeah,
excuse to not
that's
see
right.
it. You
Think
got
about
plenty
what
of
you're gonna
time.
say. Think about what you want to share. Think about what's important.
Yeah, what's up, Theodore? Thank you for the repost, Ted Logan. You're pretty
Yeah.
cool. What's up, Mama? 8595, yippee hey. Thank you, Cram, for the repost. Let's see here. Teresa, tip 2 stock. I'm here now. Thanks, Snoop. Got you, Mama. Oh man, you know what? Before we get into things, I want to give a special shout out to Rufus right now. Um,
Yeah.
Look at this dude,
Look at our boy, dude.
former phone booth member Rufus, tearing it up. Dude, look at this
Good.
guy. I'm gonna blow this up.
Yeah,
Look,
I
look
sent
at
you
him.
another one. So he sent one where he's got his face and everything. He's wearing the orange shirt, And dude, I mean, he's just got the biggest fucking glowing smile on his face. I think I sent it to you in a comment. But dude, he's so fucking jacked and he's
Yeah.
so happy. He looks so good, bro. He looks so good. Yeah, we're doing the Mondays, Shiva. Unless you guys vote us off the island or vote me off the island. But
Uh,
dude, look at that dude. I mean, I got a six pack, but he's fucking killing it, dude. Look at that.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right?
great job, Rufus. He says it's he's probably cut out alcohol and
Yep.
depression is what led to the beginning
Yep.
photo there, and I guess he's given those things up since. And yeah, I mean, dude, you can't argue with those results. You know.
And the discipline. That takes physical discipline. That takes mental discipline. Like, and fuck me if that guy doesn't fucking look good in spades for all that discipline, right? No homo. Holy shit.
A little homo, but that's all right. That's all right. We accept that around here.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. And obviously, anytime it's phone booth family, dude, nothing but love. Nothing but love.
Was Ted voted off the island already? Yes, we have fired Ted. He is on his way to Oates Military Academy in Alaska, and he will not be coming back to the phone booth. It's
Yeah,
a
we talked
sad
about it
day for
Mondays.
us, you know, but it won't be the first time we've lost a member of the phone booth. Oh man, dude, what a
So
rough start we've
love you,
had
dude.
so far.
Just so you
How,
know, I look forward to Mondays with you. Just so you know, there's nothing else about Mondays I like, but I love Mondays with you.
dude, they're always fun, man. It's always a great chat when I get to talk to you. Um, Dude, how was your weekend, man? Like we got off to a rough start. Let's get back onto some
Yeah.
positiveness.
So believe it or so I ended up going out to Jefferson County, Wisconsin. There's this private campground we got. It's called Barks Campground. So I took the kids down there because they like to swim and shit. Got to hang out with some of the family. I mean, it was nice. It was relaxing. I was kind of high strung when the kids were swimming because I don't want them to drown and shit. But outside of that, everybody, it was relaxing. It was fun. I love being in the country, dude. I want to get the fuck away from people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, especially, in these times and you live in a very populated area, that just there's too many people, in the greater Chicago area.
Yeah.
It's just like, Phoenix is no different. LA is the same. It's too many people, and dude, it's nice to just get away and relax though, like you're saying. Dude, I'm in the midst of about a 13-day podcast run here where I'm podcasting every day, talking to people. So I'm looking forward to maybe I can have Saturday off. I'm looking forward to Saturday. So we'll see. Anything
You
can
know what's
happen
funny?
between now and then.
So podcasting seems and it looks like one of those things that like just anybody can do. Like it should be the easiest thing. And don't get me wrong, podcasting is not the equivalent to like fucking digging ditches or anything like that. Nobody's making that argument. But podcasting is a lot more than what it looks like, right? Like it's a dedication of time. You got to try to get guests. You got to try to get materials. You got to articulate your shit to your audience in a certain way. I mean, there's just nonstop. It sometimes it's stressful just trying to see if you'll make it. And for like people like you and Ted, not me. So I'm not putting myself in the stressful thing because I've kind of backed up from some of those things. But I see you guys on it, dude. Like I see you on some Mondays. You'll do a morning thing where you're recording something. We'll do something, and then you'll record something. I mean, Ted's on how many damn shows over the thing? Like like it's dedicated people, But that's also why you guys are doing good. Look at the pick is in, dude. Look at that show, dude. You guys are fucking killing that too.
Yeah, and there's just, sometimes you just don't want to go on camera. Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't feel like just putting yourself out there because
Or
that's what
the
you're doing.
energy to just eh. Yeah.
And there's differences between doing a live show and a recorded show. Here's the thing: is actually really easy because it's all pre-recorded interview. So it's pretty easy. And when you do like a live stream, like we've just all experienced together 20 minutes ago, things happen. The things crash and it goes out, and there's nothing you can do but just roll with it and adjust it accordingly. You know, it can be stressful. It's not just sitting around and talking with your friend. Which, hey, by the way, happy National Best Friend Day, Templar.
Is that really what the day is?
Today is National Best Friend Day. Yes.
Well, happy best friend day to you too, my friend. That's awesome, dude. You
Oh
know,
man.
it's on the 10th. It's my son's birthday, and then I think somewhere coming up, Father's Day is in there somewhere. But I never really fucking pay attention to that because I'm a dad, and I don't know if anyone really pays attention to Father's Day. Mother's Day gets it, but Father's Day.
Foray says, is Ted just having a break or is he done? Yes, Ted is by far done. We've gotten rid of Ted. He is no longer a member of the phone booth community. Also, I'm full of shit, and
Yeah, Snoop is now the CEO of Phone Booth Productions.
I've taken
Uh,
over.
Yeah. No, Ted has just backed up from mainstream Mondays, and he's given me an opportunity to run with Snoop on this day. So, it's kind of nice.
I could hear Snoop yelling, "Stop the hammering" before the stream cut.
Right, right.
Okay, I don't recall saying "Stop the hammering." That sounds like some 1940s saying. Poppy Garcia says the 10th is his son's birthday as well. Look at that! Look at that!
Ooh, awesome, dude. Happy birthday to your kid, man. That's awesome. My
As he
guy
said-
is turning 13. So,
That's right. We have now changed the
Phone
name of the
Booth
company from Phone
Production.
Booth Productions to Phone Poop Productions, and also just know that we're full of shits.
Dude, you know what? That would have been a great name along with what was it? Phony OnlyFans? OnlyFans?
OnlyFans, yeah.
OnlyFans. Right, right, yeah. But Phone Poop Podcast would have been a fucking another great one, dude. That's well thought out, Cram.
Dude, there's man, like when I was trying to think of names, to start out with, like there was so many different ones, and there's so many good ones out there. So I mean, if I ever have to change the name of the podcast, I got a list, of different things.
It's awesome.
But dude, man, what do you? So let's start with Elon. You want to
Okay.
start with some Elon Musk shit?
Yeah, why not? The devil's
Uh,
champion. Where are we going with Mr. Musk?
Well, so let me pull this article up here. Back in 2025,
Hmm.
um, a writer for the Daily Mail
Okay.
posted this saying Atlantic writer claims Elon Musk has fathered more than 100 children with a baby mama harem. And for those that don't know what a harem is, it's like a group of women, I believe.
Yep.
Let me read this to the people. A journalist for The Atlantic has claimed that Elon Musk could have fathered in excess of 100 children as part of his harem. Speaking on the Sanity podcast that went live on Friday, the outlet's Elizabeth Bruning made the claim about Tesla CEO and ex-boss. She said, I believe he has 14 known children, but people who spoke to the Wall Street Journal for their expose on his childbearing habits suggested the number is much higher. I have heard people estimate it to be at 100 or more. Bruning authored a piece titled The Harem of Elon Musk, contended that such a number would surprise her, saying it's definitely higher than 14. I don't need to read the whole article. I think we get the
Right,
gist.
right. Just give them
Um,
So I had also seen when this story was going around, there was a post with Elon who had been talking about like he was trying to reach like I want to say like 1,000 kids or some shit before the apocalypse happens. So he
and when
has
is
like
this
a whole game
apocalypse
plan.
coming? Does anyone know when this apocalypse is coming?
Yeah, like within the next couple of years. I mean, I think it starts sometime here in the summer. If it doesn't kick off on like the 14th, I expect part of it to kick off on the 14th. No bullshit. Like the octagon, all that shit, dude. It's a fucking ritual, dude. That whole thing is a ritual. So
Yeah.
I don't know if like fucking Trump is gonna fucking like have a stroke on stage or fucking turn into the Antichrist or what the fuck is gonna happen. But I expect something big on that night, dude. Like in the sky, right? There's a procession. The three wise men are gonna be up there. You're gonna have Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus in the night sky from the 13th to the 15th. And on the 14th, check this out, they'll be at like 17 degrees of Leo, which is where Trump was when he was born, by the way, right? And Leo being the lion, etc. Like, dude, yeah, yeah. There's some crazy shit when you look at Trump's birth chart too, by the way. So
Well, we got some Trump stuff to get into here in a bit.
yeah,
But yeah, it is kind of strange, like this whole UFC fight thing that they're doing there, and the birthday. His birthday is the 14th, correct? Is that
correct. Yep.
right? And he'll be 80, I think,
He will
80
be
years old.
80. Yes. So he'll be a complete circuit. That's another reason why I think the guy's gonna fucking croak, dude. Yeah, 17 degrees, Q, etc. Yes, exactly. Right? Like everything starts from his fucking birth chart. That's why I think it's like a loop, a cycle. And I also think like Christopher Lloyd's going to die when he's 88, so he's got about a year and a half left.
Wow.
But
Bold
yeah, like
prediction from
something's going on
Templar
with
here.
Trump.
We'll see. I don't think you're wrong. Man,
Did
I
you
you know
also see like I guess like the main title fight? I don't watch a lot of fights, so whoever the guy is, I guess if he wins this match, it like basically makes him like the fucking goat. He's got like more wins or more undefeated wins or something, or more championships than anybody. I heard Dana White talking about it in passing, so I'm not really I don't watch fights, so he
yeah,
has them.
I don't really know myself. I don't pay attention to the UFC, to be quite honest. Um, so I mean, I really couldn't tell you. What does Ted Ginn say? All turkey baster babies never got his pecker wet. Well, that's boring. I mean, imagine having the kid but not getting the reward of making it. Like, ugh.
Dude, the more I look at that guy, the more I fucking wonder, like. Ugh.
I
I
mean,
just
what do you wonder?
well, multiple things. First is like, was he not some kind of fucking lab baby or fucking cult baby himself? That's the first thing. But
It's
like
entirely
second,
possible, right? Wasn't his dad was like somebody in DARPA or something, right?
yeah, his dad owned like a emerald mine or some shit in South Africa, and he was a bad dude in and of himself. He almost killed Elon when he was like a fucking kid, right? Like hospitalized him, and then fucking like shit talk him when he finally got back home from the hospital. Like a really, really bad fucking dad, right? Like a really bad dude. And I know May Musk. She's like super occultic, right? Like she's one of them. She believes in like the fucking moon child and all that, right? So, um, I mean, I don't know. I hear Elon be like, humanity is declining, right? Like the human race is declining. But at the same point, you see him like fucking censoring shit on X and not highlighting important. You know what I mean? Like he could be doing more. It's like he comes out and he'll say something to like bring the attention to it, and then that's kind of it. He'll come back every now and again and like fan the flames and then like back off. But like you don't really see him getting behind anything anymore. He just kind of comes out, throws some shit out there, watches everyone like pick up the story and peck at it and run with it, and it just kind of disappears. Even down to, all the shit that was going on with the Section 224, right? With merging Israel with the US, right? So when I can't remember who was breaking the story, but let's say it was somebody like Jess, the artist Jess, right? And so he lays out what's being said, and then Elon Musk is like, "Grok, is this true? Like, if this is fucking true. Like, this isn't a secret to you, Elon, right? First and foremost, right? This isn't a secret to you. And then on top of that, oh, you heard that, and you're gonna ask base fucking Grok, the guy who can't even tell a picture, right? Not the background Grok that you actually have in use, right? So it's like I see these aspects of his character that don't really mesh with reality when you're paying attention for like substance, right? So, like that's why I feel like, they just play us.
Yeah. So that article that I just read was from 2025. Let me see, April 26th, 2025. So
So about a year ago.
I got this little clip here. This is from just yesterday. Let me
And
see.
this is Chase. This is my
Uh,
boy. He's a good dude.
uh, Chase Geyser is his
Yep.
name.
Yep,
Um,
yep. He was over at InfoWars and everything for a while. I don't know if he's
oh, okay.
still over there, but
Okay. All right. Let's play the video.
Fertility clinic. Every week, an Escalade rolls up and drops off Elon's sperm donation, and he does it on the dime every single week.
Just
Fertility clinic.
delivering Elon loads.
Yeah. So 30 years from now, there are going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of descendants of Elon Musk living, operating, working among us. He's dropping off his load every single week.
That's both amazing and terrifying at the same time. Imagine if the Elon descendants go to war with each other, dude. Holy fuck. The weapons they'll create, the armies they'll raise.
Can you imagine if like 20% of all the Fortune 500 companies in 50 years
Are just
are
all
owned,
Elon
owned and
kids?
operated by like people that just mysteriously look like Elon Musk? Elon's got a special relationship with the fertility clinic.
So I mean, that's wild. But imagine like what that other guy just said right there. You know, imagine if they went to war with each other. I mean, Elon's kids are fighting each other. Like that'd be wild,
Well, they
but,
won't be anytime soon, right? But that's that whole Elon, right? Like,
right?
this guy, he knows what's coming, right? They know what's coming for us, and they know what they're gonna prep for, right? They got the bunkers, they got the fucking islands, they got all the money and the resources. You know what I mean? Like they know what's going on. It's just most people don't want to either recognize it or acknowledge it. We like to be fooled. We like to be lied to. We don't want to, look into the darkness, I guess. But yeah,
Well, you
dude,
know
like this
what?
guy.
What I was thinking was is like if there's anybody that's going to have 100 kids or 1,000 kids, that's the guy, right? He's got all the money in the world. You know, it's better than a lot of these poors out there having tons of kids. You know,
Yeah, but it's going to be all like these same genetics, but they're going to be, and that's the other thing. I'm pretty certain, I don't know for a fact, right? But if I had to speculate and guess, and I'm pretty sure it would be accurate, is that, like he's not just busting a nut in the turkey baster and then they're inserting that, right? I'm pretty sure they're enhancing some shit, right? Like, oh, maybe we'll give him blue eyes, or maybe we'll, you know what I mean? Because you can do that shit now. And if you're an Elon Musk, you probably got access to the latest and greatest, plus what the fuck he has behind the scenes on tech. Like the guy's making the fucking Niflim, right? He could be, right? Because I mean, he's fucking, like what if they are? That's what they're all fucking doing, and then they're pushing everybody, to the U.S. and U.K. and once we kind of poof off, and minimize, it'll be their 15-minute cities with the majority of like their kin and their, special ones. And then there'll be some of us in for filling, but who knows? Nepotism and a smidge of blackmail. That's right, that game. When
it's
DARPA hands you all your achievements, how smart are you really? That's a great point. And to the fact of like the taxpayer, and Elon did write us a check and he paid it back or whatever, but the U.S. taxpayer basically fucking financed Tesla for him, right? So that, which is fucking weird, right? Like the and he paid it back with interest, right? Like the loan or whatever. But I would think, like, why the fuck are our tax dollars bankrolling individuals so they can propel into the stratosphere of multi-billionaires, when some people make less than fucking 20,000 a year? But who am I?
well, let's be honest. That's not the first time this has happened. Look at Facebook. You could argue
Mm.
that Facebook was funded by the taxpayer. It
Well, it
stemmed
was.
from
Like he says, it was a DARPA program, right?
mhm.
And then what was it? It's not FaceTime,
It was
something
called
Facebook.
Lifelog or something like
Yeah,
that.
lifelong. And then it closes the next day. Facebook starts, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah, all DARPA shit. And then you look at uh,
Well, he's related
Zuckerberg's
to
dad.
yeah.
You
He's
know,
a
um,
Rothschild or something, isn't he? Or a Rockefeller, one of the two.
so I've said his name before, but Johnny Vedmore, right? He has a whole series on this. He's a hardcore journalist, so he's not like one of those trust me, bro guys. He goes into like fucking deep dives, but um, he went into the whole aspect of like the Edge program, and what that was like people like Bezos, Musk, um, Zuckerberg. These people were put in a essentially like a uh, WEF young leaders kind of thing, right? Where they knew what tech essentially they were going to release to the world, right? And these are the people who are going to be the heads of those industries because they need to capture it because it has to be controlled, right? And so how do they do it? Like they already know what they're sending down the pipeline in years because they know the tech that's being developed, how it's going to be used, right? So before anyone knew what the fuck the internet was, they knew what the internet was, right? And then once it got released, like they knew that they wanted to have like central shopping and shit like that, I make 20,000 a year. How did you know to play? Well, because I know what the basic rates are, right? Like I know your average cop makes about 100,000 or so, depending on where you're at. Some even closer to two, you know. But that whole thing drives me wild, right? So, mom, 85, 95, right? So $20,000 over 12 months in this economy, like how do you survive, right? Like fucking barely getting by, I would imagine. And then you have somebody who has billions of fucking dollars because this life is all about resources, right? The dollars dictate the food you can buy, the rent you can pay, the energy and utilities that you can use, right? And you're only as good as the amount of resources you have. And when you're scrambling, just fucking doing whatever to get by, and you can't get that extra fucking thing of milk because you just don't have the fucking money, But yet, you got somebody who could literally just fucking throw stacks of hundreds out the window the whole drive while he's fucking taking a cross country trip and not even be bothered. You know what I mean? To have such a dramatic gap.
Yeah.
And then to have those people on top of it come in and just have like all the say and all the important, you know what I mean? It's just the devaluing of people gets me every time, and I don't understand why more people don't like stand up or question that. Like,
Dude, so check this
oh,
out.
bro.
Like near me, that like where I live, I was at the grocery store, and I was at the deli. I was trying to get some meat, right? And they closed at 4 p.m. that day, and I was
Okay.
like, "What the fuck? Why is it not open for the full business hours? Like what the fuck? I mean, it's not even like it's late in the day. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I can't get some sliced meats. I can't get some prosciutto. What the fuck? Right? I'm getting mad. And so it says that they're hiring right now. The reason that they closed is because they didn't have enough people to work the deli. And so it said that they were hiring, and I inquired about it, and I asked them, well, like, what's the starting pay? And this was like probably a year and a half ago, and it was like $12 an hour or something like that. And I was like, well, how the hell can anybody live in this particular area on $12 an hour? Like $12 an
Any
hour,
area,
you can't afford a studio apartment in this area for that. And
right?
forget about anything else: utilities, food, gas, car, insurance, anything else. This is just for the fucking rent.
So $12 an hour times 40 hours brings you to $480 a week before
Mm-hmm.
tax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now tax is going to be about 20% ish, especially at that rate, you're going to be probably, yeah, right around 20% is what they're
Mm-hmm.
going to pull out. So 4, 8, 12, 16. Dude, that means before taxes, you're barely over $1,600 before taxes. So let's say you're lucky and your apartment costs $1,000, right? And
Good luck. You got to go to the hood to get one for
right,
that.
but let's say that's the case. And then let's say you're also lucky and somehow you can survive off of $25 a week in groceries. So that's another $100. That's $1,100 that you have over there. Okay. And then let's say that you can also magically survive on $100 worth of gas for the whole month. Okay. Like that brings you to $1,200, right? And we only have 16, right? So maybe it's already all gone, right? But we didn't even touch utilities, right? So maybe if we try to squeeze $100 over there for utilities, but there's still taxes. You know what I mean?
Tem-
How the
tem-
fuck do you do that?
Templar, do you want to know how much an electric bill is in Arizona in the summertime?
Like what, 200 bucks, 180?
Ha ha ha! Oh, you're pretty, Templar. But let me tell
Wait,
you
what is
something.
it?
If our power bill is less than 600 this month, I will be
The fuck
surprised.
out of here, bro.
I will be
What?
surprised if it's less than 600.
What do you live in?
It's about 1,700 square foot, 3 bedroom.
It's
It's
not a
it's
castle,
it's a. I must be.
bro. I don't
Well,
even think like
we don't
I
even
don't
have
even
a
think some of the
pool.
stores around here use that much gas, bro, or spend that much on electricity.
We don't even have a pool, bro. If we had a pool, it would be 700 a month, 800 a month,
Dude,
easy.
that's crazy, and that's just the electric.
That's just the electric.
So
Just-
what's
just the
water and
power.
whatever? Probably like $200-300.
I think like the water and sewage or the trash, they put together. I think it's around 100. And that, dude, that's just the power and the trash and water, and then if you want to add, cable or internet, fuck, dude,
Right.
you're looking at
Well-
$1,000 in just utilities.
Yep. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Look at 400 every 3 months for electricity.
And that's Foray.
Which is-
I think Foray's is. Are you in Australia, Foray? I can't remember. Maybe it's England. One of the two. I can't remember. But I know you're in a foreign land.
Why? What's he have?
Foray. She
Uh-huh.
said 400 every 3 months.
All right.
That's insane. It's
Awesome.
going. Oh, look. Teresa's in Arizona. It's going to pay 400 in July. 3-bedroom with a pool. That's not bad, actually. I wish ours would probably be that low, but I have a roommate that likes to leave our door open so the dogs can go in and out. But
Dude, that just blows my fucking mind, bro. I would have a stroke if I had a fucking $400 electric bill. I would have a fucking stroke. A stroke.
well, it's a good thing you don't live here, Templar, because you'd be suffering, dude, from like May to probably October. That's what you're looking at. Now, in December, you might get your power bill down to 150 or 200.
Dude, so yeah, I couldn't afford to live in fucking
It's
Arizona.
terrible. It's terrible, man.
That's crazy, dude. Do you live near like a bunch of people? Like in like some like fucking like
Yeah.
like I don't know, like do you live near one of those fucking data centers?
Not yet. I think they're building some nearby. There's tons of warehouses like down the highway from me. I live in a residential neighborhood. I mean, I could spit on my neighbor's house from here. Like I can see my neighbor's house right now. I'm looking at it. It's 20, 25 feet away. We're boxed in together. What's that song? Little boxes on the hills. I should probably not sing it. We'll get flagged. But it's tacky, man. We're right on top of each other. In a town of like 6 million people. Look, Teresa says she keeps hers at 78 to 81, and I mean, that's high, man. 78, 81, that's high. But
Yeah. I mean that's just trying to keep it to a point where you just don't cook yourself. That's how high that is. That's just high enough that you don't set your fucking that's wow.
yeah, it's brutal,
Dude,
man.
this world, dude, what the fuck has gone on, huh? Like the devaluing of people and their value for their work, and like I don't know. It just seems like some people just don't think other people should be able to like fucking pay their bills or to exist. I don't know, dude. We're broken, dude. We are such a broken culture.
We
You
are
know,
broken,
I'm
and
mad.
I want to shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
And this is a good example of the brokenness of our society right now.
I think I know where you're going.
This video that I want to play right here. This is I'm not sure his name. It doesn't really matter what his name is, I suppose, but he's a former CIA agent, and he was on the Theo Vaughn podcast.
Yeah, that's John Garavo or some shit like that, right? The guy with the glasses.
Yeah, and he's talking about the torture that they would give these inmates, that they captured in either Afghanistan or Iraq, and this is wild. Let's watch the video and then we'll talk more.
Yep.
And waterboarding, the cold cell. We strip the prisoner naked. You chain him to an eye bolt in the ceiling so he can't lay or sit or get comfortable.
Can you keep your underpants on? Or you
No,
can't?
no. Because the idea is to humiliate them.
Oh.
Remember, in their religion,
Oh.
nakedness is shameful.
Yeah.
right? And nakedness in front of a woman. And we would have women interrogators strip them naked just to humiliate them. Yeah. You see this rectal feeding.
Rectal feeding?
Yeah, what we did is we forced tubes up their asses and then with a pump, pumped hummus up there just to insult their culture.
No way. Who was coming up with these ideas? I'm sure
There were two contract psychologists at the CIA, James Mitchell and Bruce Jessen.
Is that true? They came up with these plans?
Yeah, and we paid them $108 million of the taxpayers' money for it. Wow. And waterboard.
So we, the taxpayers, are paying $108 million for these guys to commit homicides.
Yeah. Back in fucking the early 2000s. So, that's worth probably about fucking 500 million today.
Dude, we're supposed to be the good guys. We're supposed to be the good guys of the world that, go in and interject a little democracy into these unstable regions. And this is what we're doing. Listen, I'm not saying that prisoners should be living in comfort. I think prison is not supposed to be comfortable, but I mean, this is crazy. Like, you can't just be shoving tubes up people's asses, putting hummus up them. Disrespecting their religion is one thing, but I mean, this is torture.
See, for me, and again, not everyone's gonna necessarily agree with my take on this, and that's okay. Like I'm not trying to shit on anyone out there, just so you know. But for me, when I see things like abortion so wide and mainstream, right, and not just abortions, but like late term abortions, right, to the point where the kid's fucking out and they can still fucking scrape his brains out, and oh well, right? When you see that, that's such a depreciation of life, right? And that's with a baby. So what does a fucking grown up, what chance does a grown up have where nobody gives a fuck about the grown up, right? At least with a kid, people tend to have some compassion, be like, oh, look at the kid, But if you're to a point where your society is already like fucking destroying its birth rate, and fucking aborting kids like almost damn near to the point of birth, like what's that say about your value of life? So when all this shit is going on, it's like an indicator, right? Like that it's rotting, and all these other characteristics are manifestations and like growths of that evil. The way I see it, like you can kind of use it as a gauge. And then if you look at societies that don't have that kind of shit, right? That value life more, they're a lot more upbeat and prosperous. I mean, look where we were 20 years ago, right? Like abortions kind of were getting their foot in the door, right? And accepted, but it wasn't like late term fucking abortion kind of shit, right? And once they got it going, it was just like step a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. I think, is it Canada or Australia where you can have the kid and like the kid can be outside of you and they can still abort it. We haven't done that here in the US yet, but it's either like fucking Canada or the UK that allows that.
Golly, I feel like I just heard something about this too. Maybe it was Canada. I heard something like this, and I mean that shit's crazy. That's murder.
Mhm. Well, so look at this, right? So you have these behaviors, and you have this lack of love for life, and as a byproduct, you see in the culture, not just ours here in the U.S., but everywhere that goes with that, like in the U.K., right? Like how we're seeing all these fucking people like stabbing people and attacking people and slamming people because there's no, like, we're losing compassion. We're losing connection, right? Everybody's so used to like being in their phone and on their computer. And I think, you're checking out with a fucking machine. You're interacting with ChatGPT. You know what I mean? We're mammals. We're supposed to be social. We're supposed to migrate. We need contact. And you start stripping those things away, right? It's like that study I told you about where it was like a dog. I can't remember what the pets were, but one of them, they made the mom out of like just wire brush and shit, just hard wire. And then the other one, they gave like a plush animal, and the the animals that grew up with the wired mom, right? The steel wired mom, no contact, no love, were like fucking aggressive and depressed and all fucked up psychologically, even as animals. And the ones who at least had the plush uh doll as a mom, were a lot more like balanced and soft, right? So these things do have a impact on us
Do you
more than
think
just us.
do you think that it's oxytocin? Is it just like the lack of oxytocin causing this?
I don't know. I think I don't know, dude. I think it's an accumulation of things. It is. It's an accumulation of things.
Well, that's
It's an
like
accumulation.
I think so too. And like I was listening to you talk there, and it was reminding me of like in the early '90s, there was a big shift in culture, and a lot of it had to do with MTV, and a lot of it
Mhm.
had to do with the push of gangster rap music.
Yep.
And this was all by design too. You can
Yep.
go look, and there's research. The CIA was behind a lot of this
Yep.
stuff. You look at Freeway Ricky Ross. The importation of crack cocaine into the ghettos of America, and then the
Biggie,
gangster rap
Tupac,
music,
East Coast, West Coast, all of it.
the gangster rap violence push towards it. There was also, if you remember, that was the beginning of the real push of like the gay
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
MTV had the
Ellen
show.
comes out and she's the first like homosexual show star, and then she gets the actual Ellen DeGeneres show. And yeah, fucking Ricky Lake and these afternoon shows are pushing homosexual guests. And I remember the mantra when it was, kind of like, you do you. You know what I mean? It might not be for me, but you do you. Right? In the early 90s, that was kind of like the mantra, right? Like, it's not my thing, but you do you. And now that like migrated to like fucking pronouns and like
Well,
it just exploded.
it's all the destruction of the family unit. There's no more family unit. And then it's grown even into now. Like if you look at TV shows, they always make the male look weak.
Yep.
Like the father of the family is weak. Like look at like a Homer Simpson. I know it's a
Yep.
cartoon and it's fake and gay, but Homer comes across as a weak father. Even like what's the King of Queens,
Mhm.
like a show like that. This is like these weak men. And
And you know what? You make a great point, because if you follow that, like television from like the 50s, and early 60s, the father was like respectable and they taught like family values, right? But as you got into like the 80s and started pushing to the 90s, exactly what you said. You got the stupid oof of the father, right? That was the head of the family unit, just somebody who, he was goofy and but lovable, right? And then all the stars started being these quirky kind of anxiety, self-depreciating people, like you're nailing it.
and like I said, I think it's that lack of oxytocin. People don't feel love anymore. People are growing up in not only fatherless households, but really familyless households.
Yep.
Like even like let's say it's a single mother raising the child. Sometimes the mother's not even there.
Right. Yep. And
And
and that's another huge point, right? Because if you look back in the 50s, in the 60s, moving into the 70s, even into the 80s, but like there was still a time where, like moms were at home, right? Like the 90s was kind of like the die off of the like bonbon stay at home moms, right? Like
yeah,
the ones that
yeah.
used to sit at home and watch like fucking Oprah and Days of Our Lives and all that shit, but at least they were home for the kids and all that, right? Like all that's gone. So what happens is your kid, reaches the age of 5. Some families put their kids in fucking these schools at the age of 3, 4, right? So your kid gets up in the morning, they get packaged, they get thrown off over into indoctrination camp. You got to go bust your ass at least at one job if you're lucky, 2 or more if fucking your family's big and you're really busting ass, or you're a single parent, or whatever the case might be, and you
Mhm.
never get the time to even share your values to your kids, right? That was something that used to happen. Like parents would instill their values into their children, right? Grandparents would interact with the children, but all that has been sucked away because the dad has to be either out of the home or he's always at work. So is the mom. So the kid gets school and the internet and then the interaction of the world. And how do you compete with that when you're lucky if you get an hour or two with your fucking kid a week, right? Just because scheduling is impossible, right? And then
No.
the older they get, the more you lose them to the world, right? And then the world puts their hooks in it, right? Like schools want to become more and more invasive, right? Government now, there's places like California and shit like that, even in Illinois, like at 12 years of age, like your kid's medical record is like not accessible to you. What the fuck is that? At what point did the state gain the authority over the parent on the medical record of the kids? You know, like they make it look like, oh, they're doing something for the kid. No, dude, like that's the state stealing control from the parent, right? Like your kid clearly doesn't know what's good for themselves at that age, right? That's why we don't let them move out on that age. That's why we don't let them fucking sign contracts on that age, right? Like there's reasons. But you're like magically the state's like, no, 12 years old, your kid's in charge of their own fucking medical history. What the fuck, dude? Like, you know what I mean? That just shows how sick we are as a culture, you know? And the only way to I don't know if we can necessarily fix it, but I think if we get like more eyes on it, you know what I mean? We can at least make it bearable for a while. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, dude. It's it's rough, dude, because I watch it, dude. And I watch people sometimes at the store, right? Like when I go shopping and I'll see people like counting the last bit of their fucking change or whatever, trying to figure out if they can buy that thing on the fucking like when I see that, like sometimes I try to help those people if I have the money or whatever, but it still breaks my fucking heart, because I know what that's like, dude. I knew what it was like. Me and my one buddy were so fucking poor, dude. Like there was a turkey between us for like a week, right? We didn't have anything to fucking cook it in, dude. We basted it in like fucking mustard, right? But it was the greatest thing we ever ate. That and fucking I think it was like cornflakes, because that's what we had. We were broke. You know what I mean? Corn and fucking cornflakes broke. You know, like and to see that we're in a fucking world where people got to live like that, and then you have these people like fucking Kushner and Elon, and these motherfuckers can buy islands. They can buy islands when you can't buy food, And then they want to talk about this. Oh, we're going to give everybody universal high income. Nobody's going to have to work anymore. No, they're just putting you on rations. Because if everybody has $1 million, then guess what? $1 million don't really mean shit, right? Might as well just have everyone have 10 fucking dollars, right? If everyone can buy it, there's no supply and demand, right? So if everybody wants the thing or whatever it is, who gets it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just first come, first serve.
What's really fucked up about it, from a different aspect is that they're discouraging people from growing their own food as well.
Yes.
It's funny. They have rules in places where you're not allowed to collect the rainwater, shit like that. You're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it just doesn't make sense because you know what? We should be encouraging people to grow their own food. We should be having an overabundance of these things, even if it's just vegetables. Not everybody has to have a farm and raising chickens and cows and whatnot. But if fucking Joe the neighbor is growing tomatoes and whatever vegetables he can, and then Tom the other neighbor is growing are raising chickens and providing eggs and whatnot. Why are we not encouraging more people to do this? Why are we trying to stack everybody on top of one another in a 15-minute city and force feed them bugs? That's
Because
what's
it's control.
coming.
And that's the other thing. I hear them say, and they're talking about this shit more and more, right? But they're talking about money is going to be obsolete. Money is going to be obsolete. Okay, let's think about that for a second. Okay, so let's say it's a year, 5 years, whatever it is, right? And they're all like, okay, we're moving off of money. everybody gets universal high income. We're all rich now. Yay! Right? And I'm sure like dumb people will be like, yeah, I'm rich now. But what do you think's going to happen with the people like the Jeff Bezos and the Kushners and the people with all the wealth? Do you think they're going to be like, well, money doesn't mean anything anymore, so we're just like you. We're all peasants now, but we're all rich. No, right? They're going to own the fucking corporations and the infrastructure. It's going to be like fucking OCP and RoboCop, right? Like where like or when you see these fucking cyber punk kind of things, right? Where the corporations end up, but like we're watching that happen. We're watching corporations buy up the infrastructure. And then it's going to come to a point where you have to go to them. Well, yeah, dude,
it's mind-boggling to say the least, and it really gets you pissed off. It really, because it doesn't have to be this way.
I
You know
know.
what I mean? It doesn't have to be this way.
Look how long, like we've had rough points in history, but
Sure.
like when you're looking and you see these videos where the slaves only fucking had to pay like 10 or 20% of what they made in Egypt, right? Like fucking, these times before us where we got nothing, dude. Like everything is just buckling, everything is collapsing.
Mm.
And it's hard sometimes to try to keep a positive tone because it hits you from like everywhere. There's all the ugliness, right? It's like the money shit. Then it's like all the disparaging things that they do. It's like it just like breaks your will down, And maybe that's what the point is too, right?
Yeah,
Is to just
absolutely.
beat you down so much that you think there's no hope, you know? Um, and I always find myself kind of back and forth on that. Sometimes, I'm like, I hope the fucking bad guys win because why do you guys keep doing this? Like with the fucking hunter shit, What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing, dude?
We're
There's
shoving
nothing good about that,
we're shoving hummus up prisoners' asses. That's what we're doing, Templar.
dude.
And,
And
then,
then
and you know what though?
and then we're incarcerating the guys who tell us. The guys who report the crimes get treated like the criminals.
Exactly. And how the fuck does someone deserve $54 million for just thinking of creative ways to torture these inmates? Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck do I get that job? Give me 54 million, and I'll think of some cool shit to shove up someone's ass. Like, I mean, damn, that's wild. Um,
And
you
think
know,
about that interaction that how that causes people to perceive us, right?
yeah,
And how much hate that brews, right? And you can't justify it, you know? You can't justify it at all. So you got to take the fucking L and recognize that sometimes our country goes and does fucking crazy, horrible things in the name of us.
you know
And
what? Speaking of doing these horrible things, I want to play another little video here and get into this. You mentioned earlier um, about how we're aligning with another country. I don't want to
yeah,
say the name because I don't
I
want to
got
get
you.
banned.
Yep, yep.
I'll add this to the scene here. Thomas Massey says the conspiracy theorists were right again about Section 224 of the National Defense Authorization Act, which he says will merge the United States military with the IDF. Massey says the provision is treasonous and warns that it will force the United States to compromise its own security for Benji Netanyahu demands. The difference between a conspiracy theory and Washington has been reduced from 6 months to 6 days. Let's watch Thomas Massey here, and then we'll get into. I got some more stuff that ties into this
Yep.
too. So
This
I'm
comes,
with you.
that
Let's
letter
go.
that you showed comes on the heels of a section 224 of the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, that was just made public by the chairman and the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee. They intend to mark up that bill next week, I believe, and then we could see the NDAA on the floor very soon, maybe next month if not sooner, for a full House vote. There's a troubling provision in there, Section 224, which I intend to offer an amendment to strip, but that provision would enmesh, synchronize, integrate, whatever word you want to use. I think they use the word synchronize in the legislation, but we all know what it means. And we were called conspiracy theorists last week for saying this means we're going to merge the two militaries, the IDF and the U.S. military, because they said, oh, this is just, we're merely combining our technology and our supply chains and all this other stuff. It has nothing to do with chain of command, which that may be true, but it's still an encumbrance and an entanglement that I think, honestly, is treasonous. There is no reason that this is not a symmetric relationship. Even NATO is asymmetric, but this is way more asymmetric, where we're going to be the ones giving, compromising our own national security, basically obligating ourselves to the defense of Israel at any cost, regardless of what Netanyahu engages in once we, through Section 224 of the NDAA, and then this letter, which is showing you the road, the path that they intend to go down. It makes us all not conspiracy theorists now. It only takes the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth has been about 6 months here in Washington, D.C. It's now reduced to 6 days in this Israeli plan.
And dude, this is nothing new. I want to just jump right into this other video, which I'm going to play at a faster speed because it's a little bit longer. But same guy, Thomas Massie. This is just today. He was giving another speech. Let me share the tab. So Thomas Massie delivers the truth about the intentional Israeli attack against the USS Liberty on the House floor on the 59th year anniversary of the attack and calls for a real investigation. He says there was a 17-hour delay in receiving help after they were under attack by that one country. There was not meant to be any there wasn't meant to be any survivors. This was an effort to kill everyone on board. So check this out. I'll speed it up.
On the next day, on June 8th, they started the day. The visibility was unlimited. The American flag was flying proudly on the USS Liberty. More planes came from Israel to surveil the boat, the ship. And they thought they were in good shape. But what happened next surprised them all. French Mirage jets showed up and for 25 minutes strafed and attacked the USS Liberty. They shot rockets. They shot 30-millimeter cannons into the hull and into the ship. They even dropped napalm on the bridge of the ship. This was an effort to kill everybody on board. There was no intention of taking prisoners. After the 25 grueling minutes of attack on this virtually unarmed ship, and they thought things were over and they could recover, the torpedo boats showed up, 3 torpedo boats. They launched 4 torpedoes. One of them hit the hull of the USS Liberty and killed 25 people instantly. It blew a 40-foot by 40-foot hole in the side of this ship. They were intent on sinking it. But they were also intent on not having a single survivor. According to eyewitness accounts, the Israelis machine-gunned the lifeboats that they put down. They machine-gunned the firefighters who were on the deck. They were bringing the wounded and the dead to the mess hall to triage them. They had one doctor who was trying to help them all, put a few stitches in. It was harrowing, and it's amazing. If not for that crew, that boat would have sunk that day. But it still wasn't over. Helicopters showed up, combat helicopters. And the USS Liberty, even though their signals were being jammed by the Israelis, got a signal out. And there were ships that tried to respond. The USS Saratoga, the USS America sent planes. Both of them sent planes to help the USS Liberty. And something happened that's never happened before. A ship under attack, the planes were recalled. This has never happened before. And they sat there for 17 hours. 34 dead, 174 wounded, out of 294 crew members. That's over 70% casualty rate, unheard of. The Israelis were intent on leaving no survivor. And what about our own military? Why did they not send anybody for 17 hours to help these men? So what really happened? You know, the official reports say that it was a case of mistaken identity. But if you listen to Dean Rusk, former Secretary of State, Richard Helm, CIA Director, Bobby Ray Inman, head of the NSA, Captain Ward Boston, who was the chief counsel of the Court of Inquiry, if you listen to Admiral Moore, who served in Pearl Harbor, Midway, commanded both the Atlantic and Pacific Fleet, and was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, none of these distinguished men think this was an accident. They think it was intentional murder by the country of Israel, either as a false flag operation or because they simply didn't want anybody observing what they were doing that day. Well, Well, I've got a call to action for everybody here. Honor these individuals. Quit ignoring that they exist. Go to their website, ussliberty.org. Support them. And while they're still alive, they need closure. Let's give them closure. Let's have an investigation. Let's pass a resolution honoring them. It's long overdue. And then they can have their justice. With that, I yield back. And I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record the declaration of Ward Boston declaring that the only official court of inquiry was invalid.
So that's 60 years ago that happened. 59 is what he said. And we just talked on Saturday. Bill and I talked about how all three, what was it, the CIA, the I country, and the Mossad were all formed right around the same time. You know, and why are
You're looking at like the 1943, 1945 era.
why are we allowing this to happen? I mean, we should be at war with this country, but we're just allowing them to infiltrate and really undermine the greatness of what our country is supposed to be.
Yeah. Dude, like, you know, it's one thing to have an ally, right? Like, we've had allies with the UK and all that shit, but like, it's another thing to feel like something and someone's being like fucking tossed down your throat, right? It's one thing to have a house guest that just won't fucking leave, you know? Like, that's what this feels like. I feel like every time I turn around, I'm hearing how we're giving, you know, this other place money. We're doing all this backing. We're allowing them to do really bad fucking shit, and we're backing them as a nation to do that, right? So we're soiling our name on the world stage. We're being humiliated out in the fucking Middle East. All our bases are gone, right? That genie's not going back in the fucking bottle, right? Like, they're kicking off what they wanted to, right? The whole goal was that they would wake up Persia, right? And so you get Persia and the bear, right? And that's how they're gonna kick off fucking World War III. And they put that shit in the fucking the Priory of the Elders of Zion. You know, they put that in like
Oh yeah,
multiple,
are you talking about the protocols of the
yeah,
elders of man?
protocols. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Which is
have a copy of that book actually.
so, and for anyone who doesn't like to read, just so you know, there's a copy of that book online where it's read to you, right? It takes about 3 hours to listen to the thing from front to end, but I promise you, if you read that book, if you listen to that book, you will gain a certain understanding of the way the world actually works. Whether that book is like accurate with who it's picking out or not, I think it might be, but it hits a lot on the head. So if it's a fraud, right? It's a great fraud because it aged in a way where exactly what it's talking about is manifested right now, and it was made back in like the fucking 40s, right? So I mean, it's crazy, dude. And then when you go and you look and you see about what happens when they bring their Messiah about, like they talk all about it, right? And so and that the Priory of the Elders of Zion, that was something that was like they had out in the open, like they were proud of it until it started getting heat, and then all of a sudden it was oh, that's a fraud. Yeah, no, 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 that's actually based on this work over here with the conversation between who was it? It was like fucking the devil and not not Plato, but anyways, like there's a derivative of a work which is similar, but that the protocols of the Elder of Zion explain the whole roadmap. When you read that book and you get to like certain chapters, like they're talking so much about what is happening right now. You know what I mean? And to know like that shit was written in the 40s, but it's like a fucking map. It's like they were plugged into our news. And then so it takes all that. But then it also lets you know like what the future, what the end game plan is and how that operates when that Messiah comes on scene and the elders of the council and the way the population is treated and how all that works, even down to like fucking everything changes, even down to like attorneys and shit like that. I mean, it's mapped out on how like your attorney, you don't go and get your own attorney. and they can't argue certain things. You know what I mean? Like it's so stringent and by the book, and a certain faith is pushed on everybody. And who was it? Ford. Henry Ford had a paper. It was I can't think of the name. Something Independent. And every week he did an article in that paper, and it was called like the American Jew or something like that. And so this went on for like a whole bunch of things, and he got a lot of fucking heat for it, right? Like a lot of heat, but a lot of people were seeing it. By the end of it, dude, they started attacking the guy, and they tried to make him fucking go bankrupt and go for broke. So he kind of backed off his own, thing a little bit. But Ford
Yeah,
was
well, you know
notorious.
what? We might be in a better world had he gone broke. I mean, let's be honest. He funded part of the war in the 40s. He supplied vehicles, to the opposing forces. You know, I don't want to say the N word,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm talking about. But
and that's the thing. Look how many corporations that were so friendly with the U.S. did that. IBM, all that shit, right?
hmm
Like,
hmm and dude, the Bush family financed part of it with that through the Harriman Brothers Bank.
yeah,
You
Prescott
know,
Bush. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it
So
all
they
ties
seized
together.
they seized the bank, right?
hmm
Didn't they
Yeah.
seize the bank, Prescott? Because he was funding he was funding the fucking Nazis. Sorry,
That,
but
it's called the Harriman Brothers Bank.
yeah.
Was it Averill Harriman, I believe was his name. But listen, there's a couple more things I want to get into before we jump into town hall. I know we've already got some people ready to jump on, so
Cool.
you got to give us a few minutes and we'll get to the town hall. I want to talk about this real quick. And we don't normally talk about sports here on the phone booth, but our fearless leader Donnie T is going to the Knicks game tonight, and some people have some feelings about it. Stephen A. Smith, who's been a longtime sports journalist, he's pretty outspoken right here talking about it, and I'm going to play the video. And I just would like to also point out that Stephen A. Smith is also trying to maybe run for president in 2028. But let's watch
Okay.
this real quick here.
Is strictly a basketball segment. This president has no business showing up in New York City. I am dead serious. It is selfish. It is narcissistic. It is ridiculous that he is coming to this game. I would say the same thing if it were Obama, George W., Clinton. I don't give a damn. We went back to Reagan. This is not a football stadium in some space in Texas where you got a whole bunch of outlays and all of this. This is the Garden. This is Midtown Manhattan. You have any idea what the congestion is going to be like in New York City here? I get off my radio to strictly a basketball.
So this is bullshit, and fuck that
Yep.
guy is what I'm saying. I don't care if
Yep.
you support Trump or not. I'm not his biggest fan, but you know what? I will
Right.
say this is that Donald Trump is from New York City. That's where he was born, New York. He's been a
Yep.
proud New Yorker his whole life. And you know what?
True.
Shouldn't a sitting president be allowed to go to a championship game to support Americans, to support American companies? And also, let's point this out. He was invited to the game by the owner of the Knicks, James Dolan, invited him to the game. Okay. Now, I understand that it's a pain in the ass for some people. There's going to be added security, as there should be. But for someone like this to say that he has no business going to New York for the game, fuck you, guy.
Yeah,
You know?
dude, I'm with you. Obviously, you know my feelings on Trump, but for multiple reasons. First off, a president should be able to go to a sports game if he wants, but any fucking American can go to a fucking game. So it's such a non-issue to make an issue. You know what I mean? And that's the real thing. It's like can't you use one of the numerous real things to go after of substance instead of just being a bitch about the president going to a fucking sports game? Because anyone
Mhm,
gets to go to a sports game, right?
mhm.
Like, dude, like how fucking un-American can you be, right? Like, oh nope, you don't get to do that. I'm so mad that you're participating in life, And like you said, like yeah, he is a fucking New Yorker, dude. Like die hard. Look
Yeah,
where Trump Tower and fucking Kushner shit is in Fifth Avenue.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, dude, and his fucking I don't know, little pink suit. Stephen Smith is one of those guys who have no fucking integrity, right? When Trump
Yeah.
was getting popular and people were leaving the left, that's when you saw Stephen Smith start making these like pro-Trump videos and comments and shit, right? Because he wanted to he wanted the high of it, right? He wanted the accolades. And then when
The
it became
attention.
convenient and dislike Trump, he went, but not for the things that fucking matter, right? Because he's fucking going to a game. What the
Yeah.
fuck does that matter?
Dude, we've got Trump's response to this little video that he put out too. So let's watch this real quick.
This president has no business showing up in New York City. This president has no.
Oh man. Well,
Yeah,
we need to get into the Hunter Biden stuff, too. So let's jump into that. Let me see here. I got a couple Hunter things. Let me find the one video. I don't want to play the whole
How
video.
many people do we have downstairs? Just wondering.
We've got one nice little hug from a $5 lady.
All right.
So, but I want to show this. Hunter Biden's been very active on X lately, and a lot of people are wondering what's going on. Is he trying to sell artwork? Is he going on this media tour? What's the purpose behind it? Let me throw this up real quick, and we'll just watch a few seconds. I'm not going to play the whole video because it's over 4 minutes. But let's just watch a few seconds here.
Hey everybody, I just posted something about all the questions surrounding whether it's really me. Well, it really is me. I need my glasses. And what I want to tell everybody is this, is that the reason I'm doing this is because for 7 years, for a whole myriad of reasons, I haven't been able to tell my story. Part of it had to do with the fact that it was really never about me. It was about power, it was about the presidency, and it wasn't my place to be even more of a distraction than obviously my addiction and troubles created for the administration or for anybody else. But now I don't have to take that into consideration. And I have a lot to say. And mostly, though, what I want to say is this, is that the one thing that I know I am qualified to talk about is addiction and recovery. There are 50 million Americans suffering today from an addiction. We all know someone, all of us, every single one of us that we love, or even ourselves, that has suffered from addiction. And I also know a lot about recovery. The ups and downs, the struggle of it, the beauty of it, the incredible promises that that you can receive if you stay the course. And I want to just start a conversation. I want everybody to realize is that there are more things that connect us than divide us.
So, I mean, congratulations, Hunter, on 7 years of sobriety. If that's true, congratulations. I am a big supporter of things like that. One of the things that he said, one of the posts that he made that I found the most true was, and this kind of made me like him a little bit, is that he said, "I never would have left my Coke at the White House." People were giving him shit, saying, "Oh yeah, that was your Coke at the White House," and he was like, "Listen, I'm a drug addict. I never would have left my Coke at the White House."
Yeah,
You know,
and I get from an if it was just about addiction with that guy, that'd be one thing, right? Because I mean, I know people who struggle with addiction, right? Like, I dated somebody who struggled with addiction. I even tried going to fucking what was that, Al-Anon or whatever for it, and then I just realized those were just a bunch of enabling sad sulks, and I didn't want any fucking thing to do with them, right?
Mhm.
So, I understand addiction. I understand recovery. I understand how important it is. And it, and I can appreciate somebody's journey on that, right? And again, if that was all going with Hunter Biden, I'm all for a redemption arc on that, right? Cool, dude. Like you can change as a person when it comes to shit like that, 100%. But that's not everything on Hunter Biden, right? Like, let's not forget that fucking laptop and all those fucking nasty, disgusting things we saw. Let's not fucking pretend about the shit with his cousin and just all the dirty, grubby shit that
His
everybody,
brother.
dude, yeah. And they just poof. Everybody closed their eyes. And here's what happened, dude. X puts people under a spell. I swear to fucking God, it does. Candace Owens did a thing with Hunter Biden for whatever reason. I tend to like Candace. Some of this audience doesn't. I get it. But she has this fucking interview with Hunter Biden, and then all of a sudden there's like this resurgence for Hunter. Like somehow now he's like fucking noble, and it's cool to like him, and like nobody's thinking about the fucking shit he did. Just poof, like.
Yeah. Let me ask you.
What are
Let me
doing?
ask you.
And a lot of those people are the same people bitching that we're not getting the fucking Epstein tape. That's the other thing. The people who are against Trump for not fucking releasing the files and all that are the same people trying to cheer on fucking Hunter Biden. So that shit doesn't make sense to me either. Like the hypocrisy and the breakdown. It's just what the fuck.
Well, let me ask you, because I asked Bill on Saturday when we talked. Do you think that he maybe left that laptop at that shop on purpose?
No, because when it all was said and done, remember they had the fucking Secret Service go pull some shady shit, and then Hunter Biden about a year ago started DMCAing and fucking legally attacking people who had posted it because he was saying like it was stolen and that they were releasing personal fucking revenge porn, shit like that, right? So they made a concerted effort to wipe that fucking laptop from the net, basically, right? And to get those pictures to kind of pull away. And now the only things you really see are, crackhead Hunter Biden with the fucking cigarette or whatever, right? But all that fucking degenerate, nasty shit that made people want to, like that still exists, but people are blind, bro. They're just blind. Like, because people follow, right? For when they saw Candace do the thing, I guess that means, oh, Candace brought him on, so now he's a good guy. Root. He said current thing that I like. Like they can't say he's a dirty dude and he's a shitbag. I'm glad he said, such thing, but he can fuck off into irrelevance again, like because he should be ostracized, right? If he wants to come and like fucking tell us things to try to make amends, great. But then go fuck off again. Go sit in the corner because you don't get to be around us. You don't get to hurt fucking kids and all that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So people are acting like Joe Biden wasn't the scumbag that he was, and he wasn't using his kid to fucking launder money, and that his kid wasn't involved in all this fucking gross, nasty shit. Like, dude, I wanted to bring some pictures of that guy to the show, but I felt bad even like wanting to like search it because certain pictures, how the fuck do you have to describe? I don't want that in my fucking thing, right? And then at the same point, I'm like, I don't necessarily want to put those pictures up either because like they're so fucking, kind of like I don't want to add to it, but I kind of want to show just so people could see how bad this fucking guy is,
Yeah, I think that guy Dom Luker posted some Hunter stuff maybe a year and a half ago, and his account got dinged and suspended for sharing some of that stuff. I want to share another video.
Okay, go for it.
Shout out to Dr. Clown. He's one of the best content creators on the platform, and
he's been burning it up with his AI videos.
Dude, he put this gem out today, and I want to play it for everyone. Check this out.
Rules are for normal people. Me, I just keep getting away with it. You think they search people like me? They don't. See? Told you. And that's just the boring part. I don't do boundaries, and I never miss a payday. You don't hide the scandal. You post through it. You think you've got what it takes. Rules are for normal people.
Oh man, he's one of the best follows. If you don't follow Dr. Clown, please do yourself a favor, go follow him. He puts out banging content every day. His AI videos, like you said, they've just been off the charts lately. But I just thought that was a funny one we should play tonight since we were going to talk about Hunter. Man, there's I don't know. Let's jump into the town hall. Let's bring up Teresa. What is up, Teresa?
Hi, babe. Hey, Snoop. Hey. And it's Templar.
How you doing?
And we have Ted here too. Thanks for having me, kids.
Ted is not here. We have sent Ted to Alaska. He is now in Oates Military Academy, and he will not be returning to the phone booth. It is now the phone poop contest. How the fuck are you gonna walk off camera as soon as we put you on camera? You've been sitting backstage for 15 minutes, and now we put you on camera, and you're not even on the fucking camera anymore.
Well, thank you for pointing that out. And you know what? Now that I know the rule about staying on camera, are there other rules? I remember you telling me about certain words that we can't say. That we won't talk about the I country. Say that.
The link to join us for the town hall is in the chat on the post episode. So you actually have to go to the post itself, and the link is right there in the comments.
It's in the replies, not the there's the live chat on X, and then there's replies. You go to replies. Set up your EV Mux.
Anyone can
come on up. Yeah, don't be afraid. I just did my makeup live on the air, but you didn't have me on screen, so it's okay. But it's all good. I'm trying to be fearless, man. Fail hard, fail fast, do the thing.
Well, there you go. What's on your mind?
I know. Thank you. Then I was like, I don't really want to talk about Hunter Biden, but we can talk about whatever. I don't care.
Well, that's the whole idea behind the town hall, is for people to come up and talk about what they want to talk about. So,
topic or
showcase
or whatever. Yeah.
No, is it like? Well, are you gonna do? Well, tell me about. Okay, so actually, because Snoop and I actually did talk. We already had an interview. And it was a little different than I had expected, let me just say. But I want Snoop to tell me, you've got 3 different shows, you said. I want to hear more about that, actually, because I don't even think I knew that.
Well, you're on one of them
Monday,
right now. You were on Here's the Thing, and that episode will come out tomorrow.
Yay.
And then I also do a sports podcast. We talk about
So it's 3 different. What's today's podcast called?
Phone Booth live stream, Mainstream Monday.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Mainstream Monday. That's it. And then
So this is my outlet for conspiracy and news and overall craziness. And then Here's the Thing is just a different one where I just get to talk to the individual directly. And then the sports podcast, which ironically gets flagged the most.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So entertainment purposes only, and always.
Do they think you're like broadcasting the game or something, or what's it get flagged for?
Dude, I showed a press conference interview like after the game, and it got flagged by the NBA. And then also they've hit us and struck the episode 3 or 4 times now, maybe more than that. And they try to say that we're promoting the sale of illicit goods or something like that. And I appeal it every time and win, obviously. But it doesn't change the fact that they ripped the episode down immediately.
Kills your numbers, right? Because then you got to fucking put it up, and the heat from it probably goes.
Yeah, like if you look at our episode from a couple weeks ago, I mean, I think it hit 2,000 views, but I mean, it was on its way to 4,000 if it had it not been struck. It's stupid.
So you do have to be careful with I think things, and you and I had a conversation about gaming. I talked about that. I bet you have to be careful with even things like that.
Well, it's like I told you as well. Like even just mentioning the site that you post a lot of your content
Yep.
to, just
The
saying
OF.
just saying the name of it will get you flagged in the algorithm because it thinks you're posting adult content. Just talking about it,
Right.
it's so goofy.
But like, okay, Snoop, even your name, this is ridiculous, okay, right? So like the terms of service on the site that I'm on, my adult site, you can't use that word. It's actually not allowed under terms of service. I can't talk about poop. I can't say poop. I can't use a little icon. I can't even, talk. And it's because it's
Is that
forbidden.
because
That type of
it potentially crosses into like a fetish for them or
well, it's
something? And
terms
they're
of
like, no.
service. Yeah, they don't do scat content
They're-
is not allowed.
Yeah,
so
they're
it's-
afraid
but-
that it's going to turn into like 2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah,
Is that the
well,
name of it?
exactly. But I think
Yeah.
it's just hilarious. That,
Have you ever
like
seen
that's
that?
allowed here and not allowed on an adult page. I'm just saying, like the rules you have to understand are ridiculous. They do not make sense.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. I do feel you on that. That's wild though.
Like things that I could do right here on YouTube, I can't do over there. Like I could show my feet, I think, on YouTube. I think it's allowed. I've had videos.
They don't let that on OnlyFans or
well,
whatever
now,
it is.
well, oh,
Yeah. Templar.
Templar, knock it the fuck off. Anyway, but we so OF, yes, I can show feet. That's allowed there. You can't do it on some pages. I had a video taken down off of TikTok with feet, just my feet. It's not like I'm not. Never mind. Anyway, and and I think I've gotten a warning off of YouTube for things like that as well. And it's just things like that is ridiculous. It's like, okay, come on, guys. It seems silly that like, oh, there was somebody else, a porn star, that got in trouble recently because she showed feet or used her feet as a green screen on Twitch as a background or something because she Twitch streams or something. Not obviously adult content, but anyway,
That's insane.
silly things.
Censored makes no sense.
I mean, I will be the first to admit that feet are fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
are.
But some guys are into that, which means
Yeah,
some
are.
guys are into other disgusting things as well. But it's like they're seeking that content, and so they'll go
Right,
for it. And us girls know, so we'll post pictures of feet where we can.
That should be easy money, right? And it should like be the least like worried about thing
Ooh,
by
my
any
hands. Ooh, right.
like internet site because I mean it's
But
as
that's like going back to the
simple as your hand,
1900s and saying an ankle should not be shown in public. Do you know what I'm saying?
True,
Like to
true,
me,
yeah, yeah.
I just laugh
Like,
so
she might
hard. I'm
give you a
like,
little-
you've got to
little
be kidding right now with things like that. I'm just
I'm
like, okay.
I'm starting to think that maybe some of these other countries really have it right. Should women be allowed to vote? Should they be allowed to show any skin in public? I mean, maybe they're not wrong.
Okay, let's be honest. Voting in general is probably pointless.
Probably.
I think we have a selection system and not an election system that you and I and the general, we the people, don't have any say in the talking heads and what they get to do out there. But yeah, no, I think we're running away from a government system in general because they don't do anything. They literally, they're for funneling money and printing money and giving themselves money and yay, I'm doing such a good job and trying to
Right.
stay in office as long as possible and getting the kickbacks and the connections so that when they leave office, then they can also do those jobs in the public sector. So yeah, but and so I think we're going to lose probably we could lose a whole bunch of our government, I think, really pretty soon.
It probably needs to happen. But it looks like we've got another guest, Marley. Let's bring
Yeah, let's
Marley
bring him
up.
up.
What's up, Marley?
Bring 'em on up.
Welcome to the town hall.
What's up, Marley?
All right.
offline.
We've lost Marley. See you bye.
Oh,
Come on back.
So we'll see if Marley jumps back in. Let me jump on some comments here. Galactic Course, King of the Hill, Peggy Hill, Sugarfoot's laughing my ass off. Yeah, feet are gross and humans are mental. You are a human, Galactic. At least I think you are. Women should never be in charge of anything. Dead Game, can you work off that, Corey?
Changing diapers, probably.
What up, hell? Some guys are into sniffing kids' hair. No wonder his son was into sniffing something else. Makes sense, right? Like father like son. Get that sniff
I don't
in.
even want to talk about it. It's just disgusting. But it's it's somewhat, relevant sometimes. Like, hey, do we want to talk about art and profanity? Like, we can go all the way back to, to
Yeah. What do you
Supreme
think?
Court.
What do you think about those guys shoving hummus up the prisoners'
That's
asses?
ridiculous, dude. That sounded that's just nasty as fuck. Like, okay. I think it goes like this. I'm ready to murder you. I may as well do just about anything else before I do that, I guess, is pretty much how it goes. But I don't like ugh. Hey, in general, I don't think there's a reason for war. I think it's all fake. It's all faked scarcity and baloney. And just like when kids fight over toys, eventually one of them, goes, oh, I'm tired of playing with this toy, and they give up and they go play with something else. It's
Yeah.
did you guys already talk about if nukes are fake, that kind of thing, or?
We haven't talked about that tonight, but it looks like we got Marley back.
Oh, good.
And Marley, I gotta say, you strangely look like Foray. Are you there? Your microphone is muted, Foray, if you're there. So we'll take her off until she figures out her microphone. But yeah, what else is on your mind, Teresa?
Oh my gosh. Who'd you say? Oh, hey, did we talk about, you said something about the Messiah and the I country that we won't mention. Whenever I talk about money, I talk about how money is completely fake. And if we all went back to ground zero tomorrow, what would happen? So you guys were sort of talking about that. When people get upset about the I country, sometimes it's about all the money we're giving them in the other countries. And I just go, well, what if the I country is in the USA or is the USA, or, like maps are lies, right? Is one of the things we talk about. Have you seen the old maps where it shows Jerusalem is basically in the west coast of the USA and kind of Mormon country, basically, right? Where Zion is, as far as the Mormons are concerned.
Yep, I write on that theory. I
Do
believe
you?
that Jerusalem is in Utah, and I think
Yeah.
that what we think is Egypt and the Middle East and all that is actually here, and that everything going on over there, like camels and shit, are native to the U.S. But like we created this whole fucking thing that's going on over there. I'm not sure what it's all about, but it's
Yeah.
not what it.
Maybe it's a proxy war, like the whole Gog Magog thing, right? But did you also you were talking about law, and I heard you talk about that, which I think, so the law system, and that'll be revamped as well as part of the government. But do you know about Russell J. Gould and the For the Claim of the Life, and how he has a patent on the U.S. flag and calls himself Commander in Chief of the U.S., and he's in charge of he's the Postmaster General also, he claims to be, and then he came up with his own grammar syntax. Have you heard of him?
What's the name?
Russell, and then J. Gould. So, but he had a partner before him who kind of came up with this system of syntax where, for example, like if you went through the entire English language, you would rule out words like intelligence has the prefix in, which negates the word intelligence. So then the word in is a no. The word noun is two different negative words put together, no and un, so it's two negatives together. So you go through the entire English language looking for these things, and so you would completely revise the syntax, and most of our law is based on grammar and words and definitions. And if you go look up things like the definition of a human being, you wouldn't consider yourself to be a human being because according to the law books, a human being is a monster or something like this. And so all of these laws and the way that the words, the legal system was set up is basically against us and to take every dime from us, basically. So that's the theory here is that, but if you go through the contracts and things like that, as far as the legal wording, and you revise it and take out all the stuff that is meant to confuse and negate terms and confuse, the person who's basically trying to be manipulated, then you can kind of get to the bottom of it. Basically reclaiming your sovereignty as a sovereign citizen. It's kind of one of those things, sovereign citizens. But I start reading about it and I just think of like occasionally words just come into my mind, like the word intelligence. I'm like, well, should it just be intelligence? Is intelligence a lack of intelligence?
It's interesting that you mentioned some of that. Because I run into some of that when I'm researching into things. And what I find is like there's a lot of that shit that ends up being real, right? But it's like they take these buck wild sovereign citizens, like the absolute fucking craziest ones, and then they throw them out front, and then people see that and they think, oh, all of it's bullshit. That person's crazy. But when you look into it, like there's some absolute substance to what they're saying, but they throw on some fucking crazy spin, and then everyone just is like, oh, so it's all bullshit, that's all make believe, but yeah, I think what I've kind of come to think is that our language, I don't know if it should be backwards or whatever, but like they treat us like we're pets. Our language is almost like the reverse of what it's supposed to mean. When you get into like etymology and you do start, like you said, when you start looking into law and the history of law, you go back to like, let's see. So we had, there was Hannibal, who was after the Dragon Law. It was like the next realm. I want to say it was like Hannibal or whatever. And then that kind of what slowly brought us to the tier where we are now. But
it's basically the rule makers versus
we're not
the ones who are
initiated.
ruled, right? Yeah, I didn't make up these rules; somebody else did. So
let's check on Foray and see. Foray, are you there?
Are you there, Foray?
What's
Hey!
up?
Yeah. I'm a
Hi.
bit slow, hey. Can't work shit out.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Mike?
No. Stupid head.
What's on
Yeah,
your mind,
nothing.
Foray? What you got?
Well, the
What
sun's
you got?
shining and I woke up, so that's always good, hey.
Little sunshine. And are you? I forget. Are you in Australia?
Australia.
Yeah. What's it
You
like?
said
What's it
Australia,
like over
it's
there
like
as
America.
somebody? Is it like what we see on X? Is it worse? Is it better? Like what's Australia like right now? How would you rate it? Like what's your pulse on it?
It's the Garden of Eden.
Yeah?
Ooh.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Don't tell anyone. Oh, look, where I live, it's pretty good. I don't live in the cities. I live like rural, right a minute from the beach. I'm living
Right
the
on.
dream.
That's what's
Nice.
up. Oh
Nice.
yeah.
I wish I lived a minute from the beach.
oh, soon, Snoop, California will fall off into the ocean. We'll be good.
Well, I don't need my power bill going up any more than it already is. Like Jesus.
Yeah. What's power like in Australia, Marley? Do you guys have high energy prices?
Marley. Sorry. No, not you, me. Sorry, it's not Marley. I just called it by my dog's name. $400 every 3 months I'm paying.
Jesus.
I live with my 18-year-old flatmate who just happens to be my son, who does nothing and doesn't have a job and doesn't mow and eats everything, but he's the worst flatmate in the world. But yes, $400 was my highest so far every 3 months.
Yeah, mine's 400 every 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. I want to know how
Ooh.
much you guys are paying for diesel because I got a poo troll and I just don't go anywhere.
What is it
So I
about?
know in Illinois, by me, it's like roughly like $5.50, $6, depending on where you get it for a gallon of diesel right now.
I think
That's
it's
Okay,
about
my
so we're
the
doing
same.
pretty good then. We're like $2.13 here,
okay. Now is that
What
for
is
a
that?
gallon or for a liter?
liter.
Okay.
How many liters are in a
I,
gallon? Is
I,
it?
I I think it's like
Yeah, I don't know.
2.5 or something like that.
So it's roughly the same.
I suppose so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably.
No,
Gallons.
I mean double. Well, I
You know
see what
what
you're saying,
pisses
but
me off? Like I understand that costs are higher, gas prices are higher, they're through the roof right now. But I went to buy something last week and it's normally $10. Now it's 14 is the regular price. Like so it went up 40 fucking percent. And I mean you can't say that that's just because of the cost
no,
of
it's
gas.
intentional.
I
It's
mean,
completely scarcity intentional to driving prices up. Even when the stuff was going on with the Strait of Hormuz, it's baloney to say that it's affecting gas prices here in the US because we just got all that oil from Venezuela and drill baby drill and the
right?
Gulf of America. Like what? There's zero reason. And so then you start to see, I think it's all just controlled, like who just left APAC, and I think they're just saying, yeah, it's all just fake scarcity to drive prices up, you know?
Well, also
You
we
can
should
see it.
point out that this is June, which is Pride Month. So the Strait of Hermes is now the gay of Hermes. So just to be clear.
Trump straight Trump. No. Yes.
3.78 liters. Thank you, RM. My math was way the fuck off, huh? I'm all like 2.5. Like, no.
What does Cram say? They're diluting our fuel with something and it ain't ethanol. I get at
Dude,
least one ghost tank a week, it seems.
true. Okay? I have a car. There's only 50,000 miles on my shit. It's maintain it. I used to go out to the city, whatever, right? Now I don't have to travel a lot. So, you know, like my car sits here unless I actually got to go somewhere. Dude, but if I drive like, let's say I went to Highland Park from here, right? That's like fucking 20 miles
That's where
there
I
and
was
back.
born, baby.
Yeah. That's probably gonna burn like a quarter of a tank. That's fucking 40 miles. Like something is wrong, right? Like I was getting like 30 something miles to the gallon, and if I was on the highway, you know, I could fucking, you know, do even better. You know, now it literally feels like, dude, I 2 times in a week I went and put fucking money in my gas tank. Just driving like short places. So I don't know what's in that shit, but yeah, dude, it's like turning on your car, just fucking, you know, that's a quarter of a tank. You know, shifting in the park, that's probably a fucking liter.
Yeah, right. Imagine out here having to use your AC all the damn time. You know? And you know what's sad is that we have other technologies. We don't even need to be using gasoline.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. Are we gonna get flying cars? I can't wait until we get the little,
Fuck
FAA
that
app
shit.
to log into on your phone, and you log into your FAA app and plot your course and go in your little flying car like the Jetsons.
Fuck that
It's been a
shit.
long time. We should hear the.
People can't even drive on land. I'm gonna trust them in the air. Fuck that.
Do you see
No,
all
I
the
think you can go
stories
through things.
of like the junkyards and shit getting set on fire and burning all the old cars? So that way people are stuck with the new kill switch shit. Like, have you
Oh
seen all the
yeah.
fires going on in junkyards?
Not surprised,
No.
but I do know that that happens. That they almost intentionally get rid of like the old technology just to force you into new. Yeah.
And then the manufacturers stop making the parts, and then the generic companies stop making the parts. So as soon as that happens, you're fucked, right? And
And the
interestingly
insurance
enough,
company is related to the collision company, which is related to the salvage company, which is really anyway. Go ahead.
do you know that even though your car's, you know, warranty may, you know, go for 10 years or whatever, the manufacturer is not required to make parts for that vehicle that long? You know? So it's like a catch-22. If they really want to be scuzzy, they can be, you know? And from somebody who was in the automobile world, you know, like I've seen the direction it goes. With Kias, you can't even change a fucking front headlight without, you know, taking off God knows what in the front, dude. You want to switch a button on the door, you got to take the whole panel and switch it out. You
Dude,
can't just do a switch.
two of my friends drive, big Chevy trucks, and they were just saying the exact same thing. You have to take the whole front end of the damn truck off just to replace the headlight.
It's the bumper. You got to pull the clips off. You got to pull the thing, and then you got to get up fucking under there. Yeah,
it's crazy.
And they do that so you take it to their shop.
Right. It used to
Just
be
like the healthcare and the everything. You have to be stuck in the system. Now, Trump just signed a EO, right? And he was talking about some guy who served 7 years for fixing trucks, right? And it had to do with something about conspiracy to subvert the Environmental Protection Act, and it had to do with like if the trucks would register because of the emissions flag or something, and so but you weren't allowed to work on it or reset it because it was basically just resetting it instead of reporting correctly through the EPA or whatever the fuck the process was. And it's just ridiculous that people were basically, you went to prison. You go to prison for 7 years for working on a vehicle.
The bills people would get on their car for a stupid fucking evap leak, right? And they're trying to re-register their car. You got this small little insignificant evap leak that throws a thing, and they're like, nope, we're not going to register until you fix it. And people can spend a bunch of fucking money, especially if you go somewhere where they don't necessarily know what they're doing, or they don't really have people that are good at diagnosing. Then it may take a couple of things to get switched out for them to zone in, but that shit cost a lot, and it was all through the concept of saving the environment or whatever.
You check your turn signal fluid and I had a vehicle that the power steering went out on, and I started to pull into a parking lot where I was going to go buy power steering fluid, and it was one of those, it's a mechanical power steering instead of takes fluid.
Electrical steering
was news to me. And
that
that was the start of that, when they started replacing all those things with nope, you can't work on it, gotta take it into the shop. All right, fine.
Yeah. Pretty much dead game. If you have a high end car, I mean, you literally could be paying fucking $500 to $1,000. If your front shit gets just crashed, just the fucking headlight area, and they gotta do that whole corner panel area. I mean, you're looking at fucking $1,200-$1,400 just on that front, just because the fucking front thing got cracked. But you need the whole thing, And if it's like a Mercedes or something, I mean, dude. And the newer it is, it's still got all the cheap fucking plastic bullshit, dude. Cars cost damn near $100,000, dude, and they're made out of the cheapest materials. Back in the day, you got steel, you got vinyl seats, you got fucking it was a fucking vehicle, dude. And now your shit, you could probably push it over if you really cared to.
Isn't it crazy these days that a full size truck will cost you $100,000? That's wild.
Yeah, that's the fuck.
When you say truck, do you mean ute? Like a ute, flat back?
What's that?
Your trucks are like our utes, hey? That's what you call a ute, a truck.
I guess.
Okay. With the flat back, and you can have a dual cab or just a single cab.
Right. Yeah, that would be a truck. Yeah.
Yep.
It reminds me of the movie My Cousin Vinny, The Two Utes.
A ute.
I drove a Nissan Patrol. It's a wagon though, so it's like a 7-seater.
Wow. Wait, what's the model name? It's a Nissan, which is Nissan is what I would say it, but Patrol?
Yeah, Nissan Patrol, like a patrol.
Okay.
We call them Patrols.
Pram says it was $17,000 for a single cab, $1,500 in 2016.
Mine cost $50,000 in 2012. 50,000 it was.
Yeah,
and that was just the basic model.
So is this a Nissan? Is this what you have right here? Oop.
2012. I can hardly see anything.
Huh. So yeah, That's so it's like a SUV then.
SUV.
No, it's not. It's a fucking four-wheel drive. I'm not a gay. I drive a man's car. I do a full to take out the zombies and the fucking kangaroos.
SUV just means sport utility vehicle.
SUV is a mummy's
Yeah,
car.
she knows.
Mommy's car. No, that's a station
She
wagon.
knows. She said no gate.
That's a
SUV
station
is an all-wheel drive, so it's gay. It doesn't. You don't lock the hubs in. You don't get out of the car. You don't fucking dig it. Sorry, I'm starting to be all cranky pants. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Oh man. Well, listen, we are at the wrap-up point. Do either of you, Teresa, Foray, you got anything else you want to touch on real quick?
We love you. Have a happy day,
Yeah.
everybody.
Oh,
I
thank you.
agree.
Thank you.
Aw.
It's all love in the phone booth, that's for sure.
Bye, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Be good to each
Jack
other.
Jam, the older, the better. Me and my son were talking about. You saw like a 1979 motorcycle. They only wanted like 1,000 for it. And it was in good shape. It's like it'd be so easy to work on. It's like limited parts. It's not this crazy bullshit. But yeah, it's a good point.
Right. So, with that being said, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to go to the phone booth, substack.com. Check out every podcast on there. The Philosopher King, the phone booth, the Here's the Thing, the Pick is In, the Mind of Madness. Go check out the merch store. Check out the fine threads they got. Coffee mugs. All kinds of goodness. After you get done buying threads in the merch store, head on over to Can-Am Bullion. Get yourself some precious metal. Let's check the price real quick. Still down, still in the dip. Great time to buy. So everybody head on over to Can-Am Bullion. Get yourself some, because listen, hey, cash is disappearing. Crypto's fucking dead. Get yourself some metal, because that's what it's going to be all about. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and good night.
Bye, Cram. Bye, Rob.